Hey dandelions, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. I'm very excited to be able to say that, and I can't wait to get into some of the details about Skillshare later on in the video. Today I wanted to do a little personal breakdown, a little sort of witchy breakdown of my 4 favorite activities that I'm doing a lot at the moment in my practice for healing, for wellness, just to feel a little bit more centered, to feel a little bit more sane with all of the personal and collective stuff that is going on right now. I do tend to sort of switch out my techniques and practices, so I don't always do things in the same way. I therefore find it very interesting what I'm gravitating towards in my witchcraft practice, and I want to share with you 4 of my absolute favorites right now. Okay, when these 4 come out, it is like the psycho-spiritual version of me pulling out the big guns. Okay, it means that I really need to get centered and feel calmer, and I need a little bit of reprieve for my nervous system. I would love to know down below in the comments, what are your techniques right now that are really doing it for you, that are really flicking your switch, calming you down, linking you into your healing intentions, and really sort of helping you find your way back to yourself when you're feeling a little bit out of whack. Please share down below. I know that for many of you, your witchhood practice is a little bit of a movable feast. It changes, it morphs with you over time. So I'd be really interested to know just like what is going on at the moment, you know, and this video is a little snapshot of what is going on for me. So hopefully this is helpful. And if you've needed to figure out what could be some healing practices, some really good witchy practices for wellness, this video will do you some good. So, okay, let's get into my breakdown. So it's not going to surprise, I think, any of you that the first thing I'm going to mention is Poppet Work. This is the Poppet that I've been working with most often lately. I found her in a charity shop, like I do a lot of the dolls that I work with. I've either made them myself or they come from a charity shop. I have a couple that are like heirloom dolls that have special significance that I work with, but a lot of the poppets and indeed the doll parts that I work with are from secondhand stores. And I absolutely love this one. It just gave me a vibe of something that I would wear. The jewelry is on point, you know, and my hair is long and black, and I do often wear it in plaits in this way. So I was like, you know what, this could be me. This makes sense. So I've been using her a lot of the time lately, and I just think she's really a beautiful one. But there are different poppets that I work with. I have one that is specifically for working with the inner child. I have one that is specifically for working with my physical health and wellness journey, especially relating to my back injury and also relating to sort of like physical disembodiment issues that I have. So I do have different poppets for different purposes. This is just the one that's really doing it for me right now, and I love her. She's just like always around. I don't remember the last time I put her in her little box and put her in the altar drawer. She's basically always on the altar lately. Or she's like on my shoulder as I'm walking around the flat, you know. I don't think of witchcraft as just something I do at the altar. It's something I do all over my home and all over the world. So Poppet Work, why is it so immeasurably nurturing for me? I just find, to be honest with you, for me, that the sympathetic magic aspect of healing work is really valuable. In other words, when I direct something healing or something centering towards me and towards my body and my beingness, it's often not as power-packed as when I choose an object that actually represents me and I send the energy and the intention to that object, aka that poppet. That just seems to really be the one, especially when I'm in crisis, when I'm experiencing massive mental difficulty. Okay, my well-being feels like it's going down the toilet. A poppet is a really quick and easy way to center me into what I'm doing when I'm trying to send power or healing intention or compassionate energy to myself. So rather than direct it towards me or call it into me or request it or make portals where it can enter, I prefer to send it to the poppet, you know. So it's really that reparenting work, and it's that incredible self-love work, and sometimes even that self-deification work that I'm doing. It depends what the poppet is out for and, you know, what the situation is. But I do tend to find, yeah, Poppet Work has an incredibly healing effect on me. One thing I love about Poppet Work is just how incredibly creative you can be with it. There are so many different ideas, like so many things that you can do with a poppet. I have made, I think, 2 or 3 videos at this point about Poppet Work, and they're both, I think that there's 2 videos actually. I'll leave them down below anyway. I'll leave the links for you down below. I need to make a playlist, possibly. I need to cut my videos up into a few more playlists, guys. But yeah, those videos, the 2 that I'm thinking of, are very technical technique heavy. So if you have a problem figuring out what are you going to do with your poppet, how are you going to bring it into your wellness work, your healing journey with witchhood, I've got the ideas for you. I'm a veritable ideas factory when it comes to poppet work. So pop it down to those videos, darling. I've got you covered, okay? If you're struggling to think what you would do. I love surrounding my poppet with different objects that represent the different things that I want to surround myself with and that I want to remind myself of. I love putting the protective string around the poppet. I love putting oil on the hair of the poppet, you know. I really love doing anything to the poppet that I would be doing to myself. So I like to drape jewelry and crystals and pendants over the poppet. I speak words of power to the poppet, you know. I really just program the poppet to be so overflowing with the love that I want to feel for myself and the things that I want to bring into my journey, that I begin to feel almost instantaneously the incredibly positive effect that has on me also. So poppet work is kind of a must for my practice, especially at the moment. Darlings, this video is sponsored today by the wonderful Skillshare. They are an incredible online learning community hosting thousands of different courses in all kinds of different subjects, from music, marketing, illustration, photography, productivity, so much other stuff. There's an incredible plethora of things to explore over there. Creative Writing for All, a 10-day journaling challenge by Emily Gould, is one such incredible course that you might want to check out. This amazing course offers so many different journaling hacks, incredible inspiring prompts, and just different ideas to take your journaling to the next level. It's amazing for enthusiastic journalers who want to rekindle their creativity in that area. I know a lot of you on my channel that watch my channel are journalers, very avid journalers, same as myself. So this kind of course really does hit all of my buttons, and I'm sure it will definitely smash a few of yours too. The first 500 people to click the link down below in my description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can go ahead and start enjoying the incredible plethora of different courses from today. So click the link down below and go ahead and do that. Come along and be part of it. It really is just an incredible experience. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring. I appreciate you so much. The second of the 4 witchy wellness techniques that I'm finding to be indispensable right now. Does anybody else struggle to understand how they would live without some kind of fireproof dish? Because for me, the cauldron is everything. I love burning anything that I want to release and placing it into the cauldron and watching those flames rise, baby. It is just so rejuvenating. It's so cell altering sometimes. I just feel like it's such a simple, easy thing, and it's something that so many witches have in their practice, right? The practice of writing something and then burning it. But for me, no matter whether it's a flame of releasing or a flame of receiving, I feel like I'm so much more in the spiritual driver's seat when I've done that than I was before I did it. So if it's been a while since you wrote something down and fucking burned it, can I please suggest that you do so very much sooner rather than later? Okay, be safe, children, but definitely get yourself involved in that shit. Okay, if it's been a while since you brought this to the front of your list of witchy techniques that you use for wellness, I highly recommend. Yeah, the cauldron has been such a big part of my work for so long now. I've worked with the same cauldron for a really long time, and it's this little baby here with the triple moon on it. And yeah, this has seen a lot of action. And if you're on my Patreon, then you will know, if you're a Pop-Tart on my Patreon, you will know that it's seen a lot of action for you too. We've taken it through a lot of different release and receive rituals. So it's done a lot of work for my community as well as for me. I've used it for spells, I've used it for rituals, but also sometimes I just like to sit with my cauldron, okay? Fucking sue me. I just like to sit with my cauldron, you know, like you get a charcoal disc in there, put some incense on, and just really think about what you want to incubate, what you want to nurture, and what you want to release from yourself. But mostly what I enjoy doing is I want a tea light on this side for releasing and a tea light on the other side for receiving. Sometimes it's just going to be one or the other, releasing or receiving. And then I grab some little pieces of square paper, start writing down whatever it is I want to call in or let go of. I burn it, and it's really the whooshing of the flames, okay? And a lot of people that are my Pop-Tarts on Patreon who've been with me for a cauldron conjuring, you know exactly what I mean by that. When the flames rise up and the words are consumed, you just feel like something has happened, and then after that something else can happen, something different can happen. The energy has been shifted, the energy has been changed up, and that is something so beautiful and so valuable from such a simple technique that is very common with witches the world over. So I guess it also links me into witchhood as a concept and witchhood as a practice, you know, because I just feel so legit when I'm burning stuff in my cauldron. I mean, like, is there any witch that can say any different? It just does feel like, yeah, now I'm putting my big girl pants on and I'm doing the thing. Fire is just such a fundamental magical element, and it's such a gateway, and it's such a gift for vision, and it's such a potent dance of both creative energy and destructive energy. And I think wherever we want to go with that, with our cauldron work, can be very potent and very beautiful. I have a gigantic rosary collection, my darlings. It goes on and on and on. There are so many. There's literally one right down my feet just now. I was playing with it before I started filming. So yeah, there's literally one right here, and that is not even planned. Okay, that is just literally right by me right now, so I can grab it easily. Yeah, I have a lot of rosaries. I work with the Holy Mother. I do pray sets of mysteries on the rosary. They're very customized, you know, they're very kind of like fruity and different. You know, I don't pray the Our Father, I don't pray the Glory Be. I have all these different things. I do pray the Hail Holy Queen, and I do pray the Memorare. Again, if you are a patron on any tier, then you may have been through a novena with me. And if you want to go through a 9-day novena with me, you can go to Patreon and join any tier, click the collections tab. I've got you covered. There are 2 9-day novenas on there already, and we're doing another one in January. So I'm very serious about my rosary work, very serious. I just find it so nurturing. It helps me drop into my heart. It also helps me drop into my body. It gives me a safe space for feeling whatever has been nibbling around the edges of me that I'm not quite letting myself feel. It's all the goodness. It is a really fucking high vibe tool. It is a very underrated tool for both devotion and meditation. And I believe that you do not need to be at all dedicated to the Holy Mother to get a great deal out of the rosary, because I think it's fairly baked in what the Holy Mother is all about, right? You kind of know that she's this representation of incredibly fierce and unending love. She is that good mother archetype personified, and so much more besides that. So you don't need to be a dedicant of the Holy Mother to get incredible use from a rosary. You can customize your rosaries. You do not have to leave the crosses on the end, okay? You can put anything on the end. You can put a pentacle. You can put a protective eye. It's really quite easy to pop the cross off and put something else on there. And I've done that with a few of my rosaries. But I just love my collection, guys. I have rosaries from different cities that I've been to in the world, different cathedrals that I visited, so they have really sentimental meaning to me. I've also picked some up from charity shops along the way and car boot sales, and just gotten a really nice feeling, a really great energy off of them. Some of them, a couple of them were quite expensive, and they come from vintage stores, and they're sort of like really special, and they come from particularly special companies, you know, vintage Irish rosary companies. So I have all kinds of different things that I work with. Some of them are gaudy and tacky and a little bit sort of like simplistic or playful, and others of them are like very beautiful, very over the fucking top. I have rosaries around my home hanging on the walls. I will say, if you're attracted to the idea of using beads to go through words of power, to go through prayers to your deity or to nature or whatever it might be, but you are not sure about rosaries, then you can use other kinds of beads. I have other kinds of beads on the go, right? These are a really beautiful set that came to me in a witchy box many, many, many moons ago that still primarily live on my altar. This is a set from India that my brother bought back. My brother is no longer with us in the earthly realm, so this is like a very beautiful heirloom that I'm allowed to keep forever, and it makes me feel closer to him. And so sometimes I go through these beads and have a good cry. So it's not just rosaries that I use. You can use any kind of like, just grab a fucking paste pearl necklace that you have lying around or that you find in a shop. It's fine. Just anything that helps you to keep count, get that rhythm going, and get into that beautiful, deep meditative state, and get ready to allow repetition to heal and reveal. Repetition is something that I find so potent in magic and in spirituality. And repetition is interesting. This is one thing that I say to my people on Patreon who like to pray novenas with me. I always say the repetition itself is an endurance test, okay? It's like going through the wall. For a while, you're going to be bored and you're going to feel like you're just saying the words and perhaps they're not really reaching you. But then there comes a point where if you stick with the repetition, you break through and you drop down into your heart. Every single trip around the rosary is different. Whenever you go around the beads, you're in a different state of being, okay? It's just like doing any kind of movement or exercise routine. You're not always going to feel your level best when you're doing it. Sometimes it's going to be amazing and you're going to go up a whole weight class and you're going to be like, wow, I felt so strong today and so on point. Other workouts are just going to be like a bit meh, a bit bleh, a bit, you know, oh, I didn't do too great today. Going round the beads is a similar kind of thing. So you've got to really let the repetition take you where it needs to take you. You're going to discover what you feel about yourself in the process, and you're going to deepen into devotion, whatever that looks like for you. Final one is kind of obvious, guys, you know, but it's got to be said. I am indeed a card slinger. It's a very big part of my full-time job. Okay, I've been selling tarot readings for years now. In case anyone is wondering, this is the tattoo tarot. How gorgeous and vivid is this one? Don't you just love the look of it? Oh my gosh, it's sumptuous. Oh, look at that Knave of Swords. He did not come to play. So anyway, yeah, basically I've got a massive collection of decks. It's not the largest collection of decks you would expect from a professional reader. I'm very picky and I do like to keep my collection pared down. But yeah, I've got plenty to choose from. And one thing I will say about the healing and the wellness aspect of tarot for me is that because I'm a pro reader, I'm obviously looking into people's lives and trying to help them strategize for what they want, like basically all day, every working day. I've got the cards on the go, and I'm sort of like leaning into what people want, how people are feeling, and where they are with their journey. So when I do tarot for myself, yes, I do read for myself. I literally actually just did a 10 card reading last night for myself. I have my brand new journal here, and wow, look at this. It starts there and it goes all the way through. So yeah, I definitely did a 10 card read for myself last night. Okay, let it not be said that I don't do readings for myself, and that was very soothing. But more than often, what I really love to do when I'm feeling like I need the wellness connection to the cards is I just like to play with them. I just look at them, I just meditate on them, I just lay them out. You know, I might lay out one of the complete suits, so maybe all of the wands, for example, just lay them out side by side in 2 rows, and then maybe with the court cards underneath, and just sit and just contemplate, just enjoy the colours, notice how the cards are corresponding with each other. What is the story that is being told by the illustration choices that the deck creator has made? And what does that tell me about how I'm linking in emotionally to those cards in that moment? There have been times where I've laid out the entire 78 cards, sometimes in order, sometimes randomly, doesn't matter, and just sat with the cards, okay? Sometimes I'm just thumbing through them. I like the feeling of shuffling them. You know, that can be very comforting for me. Just shuffling, just touching them, you know. So I think there's really something to it that is very tangible. It's very kind of like earthy. It makes me feel grounded. It makes me feel like, okay, this is a bit of a starting point kind of feeling for me. Yeah, there's something really sturdy and strengthening that comes for a reader when they hold the cards. So that's what a lot of it is about for me. You don't always need to have the energy or the intention to do any kind of reading for yourself. You can really just like relax with the tool and let it be what you want it to be. You can also path work with it. You can do a bit of journaling with it. You know, if you're feeling a bit out of practice and out of step with journaling, just grab one card from the deck and just write a few sentences about how it's making you feel. There's no need to go into books to look for interpretations. This is not a study situation, right? When you're playing with the cards for wellness, it doesn't have to be about striving to understand more or drop deeper into your comprehension of the cards. It can really be more about just like, it's a pictorial aid for some kind of meditation or just some kind of leveling out of my emotions right now. If I'm all over the place, I just want to come to some imagery, sit with the imagery and just chill, drop my heart rate down and just enjoy being with tarot. So it very much can be that simple and that easy. It's not about striving. It's about enjoying and enveloping yourself in the imagery of tarot and seeing what it gives to you in that moment. I think if you're very stressed out and you're thinking of using tarot for wellness, you might not want to actually shuffle the cards and do a blind draw and see what you get, because if you're not in the mood to do a reading because you feel like you're too pent up emotionally or whatever, you're probably not going to want to draw a card like the Tower or the Devil or like 10 of Swords when you're feeling like enough of that is already going on. And so you might start questioning, why would I get this card? This card's making me feel sad right now. I can't deal with it. I can't link into the positive meaning of it. So instead, you might want to turn the cards face up, right? Just turn the deck face up and go through and choose a card that makes you feel great, that makes you feel like, you know, I'm getting something from that. It's inspiring to me. It's making me feel something that I can hang on to, and go with that. Go with that card. You don't always need to do blind draws when you're not feeling that crash hot. Darlings, thank you so much for being with me for this little wellness breakdown of 4 of the key practices that have been really helping me in my witchhood lately when I'm just feeling out of sorts and I need to lock back in. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I love Skillshare and I just greatly appreciate them for seeing the potential in my work and wanting to partner with me. Don't forget to click the link down in the description. It helps the channel when you do, and you'll be able to really enjoy and imbibe everything that Skillshare has on offer and just get that level up that you've been looking for. Don't forget to pop over to Patreon, check things out, see what I'm doing, and come over to the store for any one-to-one work that you want to do with me. Yes, it could just be you and me, baby. Imagine that, all right? Like, you're there at the appointed time, I give you a bell on Zoom, and then you're just talking to me. There's nobody else in the picture. It's all about you and your story, so you can have that customized one-to-one time with me. Get booked into my schedule and let's see what magic we can make. Okay, until next time, my darlings, from me and my darling Poppet, much love, happy witching, and blessed be as always.